name is Marie Toole, and I am AARP Colorado volunteer. AARP can see the field and feel the trends. People 50 and older are more active, both physically and mentally, than ever before. They aren't slowing down. In fact, they're preparing themselves to do more of the things they love. So many older adults are exercising and eating right daily. They are taking the time to learn new things, and they know the importance of life balance, making sure that leisure and fun are significant parts of their healthy lifestyle. As part of that get up and go attitude, we are hosting webinars like Eating for More Energy with culinary nutritionist Michelle Fox, where we can discover ways to keep our nutrition in check so that as we age, we can continue to do the things we love to do without limitations. Tonight, Michelle will demonstrate one of her family's favorite go-to dishes, Plantiful Spaghetti. She will also tell us the best veggies to eat at this time of year. We bet you will never tasted spaghetti like this before. In that lively spirit, we welcome you to enjoy our Eating for More Energy with Michelle Fox. While we hope you learn something new and exciting, we want you to enjoy yourself and have some fun. Please note that we are offering closed caption option this evening. If you're interested in that option, click on the last red button at the bottom. If you're watching a recorded version, you may download the transcript under the Handouts tab, the fifth red button to the left that looks like paper. Also, if you're interested in a copy of tonight's recipe, it's located in the Handout tab below. If you'd like to hear more about healthy living and nutrition, please check out our website, www.aarp.org/food/healthy eating. We look forward to connecting with you. Now, here's Michelle Fox.
Hello, and thank you, Marie, for that very warm welcome. I think we need some of that warmth for those of us here in Colorado. It's been a little chilly lately. But speaking of that, because that's where I am, before we get into all the good stuff, I would love to know from my people who are with me, one, where are you streaming in from? And two, name one thing that you are grateful for. I know we've had quite a bit of that with Thanksgiving, but in my world, you can never have enough gratitude. So if I give you a moment to put that in the chat, I will happily start off with saying, yes, I am Michelle Fox, culinary nutritionist and health coach, and I live here in the beautiful city of Denver, Colorado. I'm going to put my glasses on. Allison, who's been amazing at hosting these events, she just pointed out that I recently just joined the 50 Club, actually on Thanksgiving this year. So yes, we'll give jazz hands to turning 50. But I mentioned that because the eyesight has been going down for a while. So I'm going to lean in so I can see who's in the room. Denise, hello, California. And she is grateful for good weather. Oh, you don't even know, Denise. I plan to retire in California for exactly that reason. So I'm going to take this as a good sign that you are here tonight. Love it. Sandra's in South Jordan. Welcome, Sandra. Let's see, Yolanda or Yaluba. You've been here before. Welcome back. Great to see you here. Linda, San Antonio. Larry's here. Oh, hey, Larry. Welcome back to you as well in Longmont. Judy G in Maryland. Oh, I love it. Okay, so we have got people from coast to coast. And so let's jump in, especially for my people who are on the East Coast. I know it's getting a little late for you. I will say thank you to you all for showing up. We are going to be making, as Marie mentioned, one of my favorite family dishes called Plantiful Spaghetti. I do have my recipe here just in case I get a little too excited and I start forgetting things. I'm not going to blame that on turning 50. I will say I get very excited when we start talking about food, but then even more excited when we talk about nutrition. So I encourage you to light up the chat box, especially for my friends who are just watching the demo and not cooking. So if you have your hands free, please, if there's a question that hops in the chat box, answer it. I call that community in action. So we want the community working together, loving on each other. I promise to answer all the questions at the end. I'll do my best to check in once in a while if I can. But if you all can help each other, that would be amazing. Let's see, a few other housekeeping items. your recipe. I created a beautiful recipe for you. So, my friends who are on a laptop or a desktop, if you look right below me as I'm doing this, you'll see a line of red squares. And right in the middle, you'll see excuse me, I said squares. How about circles? You'll see red circles. And in the middle, you'll see some squares that look like stacks of paper. If you click on that, then you will be able to download the recipe, a PDF. For my friends who are on an iPad, I'm told, I think it's on the left side of your screen, and you'll see that red stream of circles. And the one in the middle, again, looks like paper stacked on top of each other. That's the button you can click, and you can follow along, and you can make this recipe, hopefully from tonight and forever after. I will tell you, I chose this Plantiful Spaghetti, one, because I wanted to share as many vegetables as possible with you right now, whether we're in beautiful California or, well, I'll say Colorado's beautiful as well. I will just say there's more seasons here. And so when the seasons change dramatically like they have recently, we really want to load our bodies with antioxidants, antivirals, anti-inflammatories. And yes, that is true for throughout the year, but we especially want to get chock full this time of the year. So before we jump all the way in, and I promise we have plenty of time to make this one, because if I weren't talking, I promise you can make this dish in probably 15 to 30 minutes the first time. The second time, it's going to be like 15 to 20 minutes. It goes by really fast, but really, really yummy. But you know me, I mentioned the nutritionist part, so I have to let you know why I chose the ingredients to go into this Plantiful Spaghetti. I'm just looking down really quick just to show you, and I will reiterate a lot of this, but I wanted to show you I've got this beautiful garlic. Oh my gosh. Yes, garlic makes me sing. I'll try not to do too much of that tonight because I like friends, and I want us to stay friends, okay? The dancing, that's for sure going to happen. That I can never apologize for. The singing, I'll try to keep it to a minimum. Garlic. We want garlic in our bodies because they are in the allium family along with our beautiful onion. And the allium family is what's going to protect us from virus. It is antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and as one participant once said, anti-yucky stuff. And I'm like, yes, that like sums it all up. We want our alliums to get the yucky stuff out. So we're gonna put the good stuff in. Our red bell pepper, and if you shopped for the ingredients earlier, maybe you got an orange bell pepper, or maybe you got a yellow one. Same, in that these are loaded with vitamin C. So those of us who maybe struggle with allergies and or fighting a cold, I can tell you when I get a little tickle in my throat, I honestly, sincerely, I grab for a red pepper, I slice it, and I just snack on it. And before you know it, the little tickle's gone. So this is a powerhouse. Sometimes with this recipe, people ask, well, how about a green bell pepper? Is that okay? And my answer is, of course. It's not as ripe, so it's not going to have as much vitamin C, and it's definitely going to change the flavor profile, but it'll still be delicious, and it definitely still has nutrients in it. Zucchini. For tonight, we are going to shred one zucchini. So I don't think I mentioned it in the write-up before, but if you have a food processor that makes shredding easy, pull that out while I'm doing this quick introduction. Sorry, I know it's kind of a long introduction. And then one zucchini we're going to save to zoodle, and that's going to be the base of our Plantiful Spaghetti. Last but not least, we have got the lovely parsley. And I didn't put any herbs on this written recipe, but if you could pencil that in or just keep it in mind, we want to add herbs into all of our dishes so that we get that cleansing and detox properties. Any kind of herbs. So I have parsley, but maybe you have basil in your fridge. Maybe you have dill is delicious. What are some other good? Actually, bonus points for my friends who have their fingers open and free. Let me know your favorite herb in the chat. I'll even put my glasses back on so I can see. But I will tell you, if they're green and if it is an herb, it will be doing are giving you detox properties, which we can all use to help us age gracefully. Anything we can do for anti-aging, as far as aging painfully, we're going to do now, right? Wink, wink. We're going to get this delicious nutrition in because that's one of the easiest ways we can age gracefully. Can't say that enough. All right, let's see. Good health, yes. Atlanta, so it looks like we're still up to the top. Would be a good substitute? Oh, so somebody's asking, what would be a good substitute for garlic since I do not digest it well? You know, I have a girlfriend who can't really do garlic as well. So in this recipe, I would just say simply leave it out because there really is not. If you can tolerate onion, then yay. Maybe do instead of one onion, you can do an onion and a half, and that's going to get you more of those antioxidant properties. If you struggle with the allium family completely, then I would say load up with the peppers. So it's kind of lucky that I did it in order here. We've got the garlic, the onion, and the red pepper. I want to go back to the herbs and then we will jump in and cook, I promise. Let's see here. So Linda, you get an A+. So she says basil and cilantro are good for the green spices. Yes, spices and herbs. Thank you. I knew I was forgetting one, and it is the cilantro. I love cilantro. I know some people don't. I've been told it's almost like 50-50 of the American population. 50% of us love it, and 50% of us think it tastes like soap. So if you don't love it, just try another herb. Parsley is very mildly flavored. Okay, so let's start doing our veggie prep so that we can jump in and enjoy. We are first going to, let's start with our zucchini. So again, I gave you a little bit of a heads up to grab your zucchini, to grab your food processor. Mine is just to the left of me, so I'm gonna shred this really fast. So I'm just going to make 4 cuts on this zucchini. For my newbie chefs and or my chefs who maybe have gotten into their own style for a while and maybe didn't know, you always want to have a little refuse bowl so that when you are at your prep station, as we call it in chef school, your mise en place, where everything is in place and clean and you know where all your tools are, we want a little refuse bowl so that we can easily just chop and go. And it makes cooking go by so much faster. So a little hip tip. You're welcome. So I just made 4 pieces to make it really easy. And I'm going to just back it on up and shred these in my food processor really quick. Okay, and for now, we're going to leave the shredded zucchini to the side. I'm going to bring it over here with me so you don't have to see me doing the backed up dance anymore. Next, let's jump into our red bell pepper and or yellow or orange. We are going to just cut off the top and then go right down the middle. I'm going to grab my bowl because these seeds, as a lot of us know, can get a little wily. They get all over the place sometimes. So I'm trying to keep my cooking space as clean and as neat as possible. And so as you can see, I just am using my fingers to pull out the middle and make sure we don't have any seeds. Because the seeds, they're not bad for us. They're crunchy and hard, but not like crunchy in the good way. Crunchy in the, somebody forgot to clean out their bell pepper. All right, and so now I'm just gonna take, and you know what? I can't help it. When I smell it, I'm like, this needs to be in my belly. So I'm gonna chew a little bit while we slice and dice some bell pepper. Here we go. So I'm just doing maybe 1/2 to 1/4 inch width, just long strips like that. So I'm going down, taking my time. And I'm going to do the same with the second side. And because I'm demoing, I am going to put the top of the bell pepper to the side, and I'll snack on that later. I promise not to smack in your ears, because that's just rude. Plus, I live with a husband who the mouth noises, I forgot what that term is, drives him bonkers. So I tend to be extra conscientious of the mouth noises when I eat and chew. Okay, so I'm taking one of the halves, and I'm just taking my chef's knife, and you can see I'm leaving the point on the board, and I'm just going down, and I'm making like just little bite-sized pieces. And my chunks tend to be coarse and a little bit bigger because I don't always have that much patience. I'm really good at getting the nutrients in. It doesn't always look that pretty when it's in my kitchen, but maybe that's my challenge to you. Maybe you can make the most beautiful Plantiful spaghetti ever. All right, so we are just chopping and dicing our red bell pepper. One thing in the recipe, I said that if you wanted to have the actual spaghetti noodles, that it was optional for this dish. I tend to use, and actually tonight, I am going to do gluten-free spaghetti noodles, plus I'm going to do zoodles as my base for this amazing sauce that we're about to make. If you want to do the same, and or if you're making the traditional spaghetti, I'll kind of look the other way for tonight. Maybe next time, try to buy and find the gluten-free spaghetti. But if you want to make that, start boiling your water now, because we do want to have time to put it all together in the end. I will tell you, I did boil my spaghetti earlier just because I knew I'd get talking and get very excited. And this plate doesn't get as hot to boil a big pot of boiling water for pasta. So that is why the pasta's right there. And I also say that to help me remember to grab that to put on the plate at the very end. Okay, so if you're doing the traditional pasta, please start boiling your water now. And I will continue to dice our bell pepper. And I saw some movement in the chat. So once I get done chopping this pepper, you have my word, I will check the chat box. You guys are amazing. Thank you for playing full out. It always makes these events that much more fun. Okay, so now you can see. And now I'm going to just do like a quick once over to get the bites down a little bit smaller. Ooh, I just got sprayed with some bell pepper. That is lovely. And I actually am being serious. I love that. I always say the messier the food, the tastier it tends to be. So here we go. Okay, let us see what's happening in this chat box. Let's see. So it looks like there's some administrative questions happening. And technical. Oh, good. So we're all together. Yay. All right. And the good news is my friends who maybe are coming in a little bit later because of technical issues, we do have this on replay, which everybody here on the call, and even the people that missed this, you will get that replay in your email soon after. So we're all good. Okay. So I have diced my peppers. I'm actually going to put them in the side skillet now. If you have a bowl, you might want to put them in the bowl just to make extra space on your cutting board. Next, I am going to dice. Well, I said dice. Let's mince. I'm going to mince some garlic. So back to the bowl, because the garlic skins can get a little wily. So in the recipe, I wrote down 2 to 3. Please feel free to do more, especially if you're fighting allergies and or a cold right now, or just need some extra immune support. Add some more garlic. I'm actually going to do it just because I love garlic. You can never have too much. I'm going to do 4 cloves in this recipe this evening. Thank goodness my hubby feels the same way. We can eat our garlic together. I'm going to trim off the edges. And then the fun part will be to smush it with the side of my knife, and that will make the skin that much easier to peel off. And I know this community, you guys are really good. But, just in case there's that one person that doesn't know this trick, you have to admit it's kind of life changing, right? I didn't grow up knowing this. So you take your garlic, you take your knife sideways, and then you just use the palm of your hand, and then you go smoosh. And just like that, let me bring the bowl closer. The skin, you see that? It literally just peels right off, and you've got this gorgeous garlic. Yeah, this is my version of aromatherapy. I love the smell of garlic. And so now with your other pieces, you're going to do the same. Palm of your hand, and don't be afraid to be assertive. There we go. And you see that? The skin just peels right off. I know some people get the pre-made or pre-diced garlic, and for my busy friends, I understand. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. However, I always lean towards from scratch. So anytime we can just take one little extra step to get the fresher vegetables in our system, our bodies are going to thank us. So just a little hip tip to perhaps encourage you to use the raw garlic as much as possible. All right, and now let's clean off the board because, again, nobody wants woody skins in their food. And now I'm going to keep the garlic kind of chopped coarsely as well. Sticky. Let me move this onion out of the way so you can see I'm keeping the knife on the cutting board. And I'm just dicing, mincing. And if you prefer large chunks, of course, keep them large. And if you don't necessarily love garlic, then you might want to mince it that much more tiny. Or would be tinier. What's the proper English? We're just going to make it delicious. How about that? So I'm doing something in the middle. And we're going to saute, just so you know where we're going. We're going to saute the garlic with the onion and with the pepper. So for now, as I'm using my small skillet for like a little bowl, I'll just put the garlic on top of my pepper for now. And then we're going to get to the onion. And let me just double check because I saw more movement in the chat box and I never want to leave anybody hanging because this is supposed to be fun. My whole goal is to help you have more fun in your home kitchen with nutritious ingredients. So as I lean in, let's see here. All right, so we're good. This is a strong move-in community. Either your fingers are too busy cooking or you already know all this stuff. So either way, we're good. Okay, next, I am going to put on my onion goggles. Hello, because I am one of those sensitive individuals. And so the the onion aromas make me cry. And yes, my children laugh at me, so you are more than welcome to laugh as well. Okay, so let's dice the onion. And then we will get to making our delicious and nutritious marinara sauce. Let me just double check. So just so you know, I did put one red onion on the recipe, but if you have a yellow onion, that's perfectly fine. The red onion just adds a little bit more sweetness. And so with this recipe, I love that we get, the saltiness from the tomatoes and the sea salt that we actually put in, but then we get a little bit of sweetness from the tomatoes and from the red onion. But white onion and yellow onion will taste delicious as well. All right, so I'm just peeling off the top layer of this onion before I dive in. And do you have any questions at this point? This is actually kind of quiet for my community. I don't know if it's because we're getting close to the holiday or if you're diving in, making your gluten-free pasta on the stove and then chopping your vegetables on your counter. but I would love to hear from you. In fact, let's see if we can come up with, here's a quiz for you from my friends who are cooking and or just watching. I mentioned earlier a powerhouse vitamin that we can find in our bell peppers, specifically the red, the green, and the orange bell pepper. What is the specific vitamin that is super helpful for us? And as you're writing and or as you're thinking about it, you can see with my onion for the dicing, I just did like small slits the long way. And now I'm just going to go slowly, and let me make sure there's no skins on the chopping board. Now I'm just going to go slowly and chop horizontal. Okay, let's see if anybody guessed the vitamin. Vitamin C from Evelyn. Nicely done. A+. Yes, our bell peppers are our friends, specifically this time of the year. Good job. Okay. So, if, like me, if your stove is a little bit on the slower side, I'm on my demo stove over here, you might want to turn it on now, and we are going to saute our garlic, our onion, and our bell pepper on about medium to high heat. So just so you know where we're going. And we are going to use avocado oil for that. I will tell you that a lot of people, when they think of Italian foods, they automatically grab that olive oil. I love olive oil. It's an amazing brain supportive oil. However, when olive oil is heated at high temperatures, it actually changes its chemistry. And so then it kind of becomes a poison to our brain. I don't want you poisoning your brain. So that's why when we're going to cook at a higher heat, I really like to use either avocado oil or coconut oil. If you can handle or tolerate dairy, then ghee, or even full-fat butter. Well, if it's organic, we don't want any hormones in there. It can be wonderful at higher heats. So just a little hip tip. If you don't have that today, then again, let's just try it next time you make this dish and or next time you are making a saute of any sort. We want the healthy fats. So for my friends who are watching the demo, I just named 4 healthy fats. Well, healthy fats in the oil form. Can you name up to 2 of the healthy fats that we can safely cook with at high heats? You didn't know you were coming to class tonight, right? You thought this was supposed to be just cooking. No, we're doing cooking and our intelligence around our nutrition because I want you healthy. I want this good stuff in your body to help you age gracefully. All right, this is a whole lot of goodness. Let's see, did anybody, I'm gonna just change glasses. Let's see if I can handle it with the onion. Pray for me. Let's see. Good job, Diane. You get a shoulder shake. Yes. Avocado oil, coconut oil. Yes. Linda, yes to butter. And then Larry, I am so glad you wrote this. And I gave you this face, so I'm not doing this at you. I'm doing this because this is a common misperception. So canola oil, if at all possible, I want you all to just throw that away. And I don't even want you thinking twice about it because there's nothing in nature that's canola. Canola is 100% man-made. If you read the label, you will see. It's cheap. It's like a petroleum product. And I really could get on my high horse, but I'm not going to about, or I guess not my high horse, my soapbox about why in the world the government would let a manufacturer let us put this stuff in our body. But no, canola oil, we want to stay as far away as possible because it does, when it gets into our body, it can recircuit things in our brain called xenoestrogens. I'm getting nerdy right now and I can feel this going, so I'm going to stop. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. I will just say, do the research if you don't already know, or just take my word. But I do not want canola oil in your body. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Okay, so we're getting some heat. This is good. This is good. So now I'm going to take my avocado oil, my healthy oil. We're going to put in about 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to start sauteing once that gets nice and hot. And for my friends who have been boiling their traditional pasta, I want you to, of course, check on that. But if you started when I asked you to a while ago, it's probably done by now, especially if you're doing the gluten-free pasta. I can tell you that tends to cook up a little bit faster than the traditional pasta. It's usually like 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, let's see here. So what do you use to try tortillas in them? Or to fry tortillas? What is a substitute? Have I ever made the recipe with shiitake noodles? Ooh, that sounds delicious. I've never tried that, but that sounds amazing. And don't purple onions mush when cooked versus white or yellow? Love these questions. Okay, so let me put my onions in and I'll answer the last 2 questions. Here we go. So yes, the purple or red onion has gone in. The red bell pepper and the garlic is now in. And we are just going to saute them. I'm going to put in a little bit of sea salt and a dash of black pepper. I'll probably put in a little bit more in a bit. And I'm just going to make sure that all sides of our beautiful veggies are covered in this brain supportive oil. Okay, so as that cooks a little bit, so the first question with tortillas, I personally have never made tortillas. So I know I've heard of people using lard for tortillas, which, believe it or not, I'm actually not opposed to as long as it's organic and doesn't have any hormones in it. The animal protein really isn't that bad for you in moderation. And again, chemical free. So I'm sorry, I don't have an answer about the tortillas. As far as the red onion, I have not honestly found a difference in texture. So this is not going to be a mushy onion compared to the yellow or the white. So that's just been my experience. But again, if that's your experience and if you don't love the red onion, no problem. This dish is still going to be delicious with your white or yellow onion. So thanks so much for participating. All right, next I'm putting in ground organic turkey. That's what I love to use. However, I'm not opposed to if you wanted to use beef, that could be really delicious. I know we have some vegetarians in the room, so if you want to use, what's that called? Oh, the Beyond the ground. I think that could be pretty delicious in this recipe. And or you can just leave the meat out. It'll still be very hearty and chock full of veggies. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my ground turkey meat. And again, I did say organic. I know prices are going up on pretty much everything these days. However, I really do recommend organic wherever you can, because typically it's not going to be all that much more. And I like to remind my clients that it might be a bit more upfront, but it's going to save you a whole lot in medical bills when you get up in age and you have all of the mal effects from eating the chemicals for so long. So I try to get organic in my family's body as much as possible. And so now we are just going to chunk up our protein so that it has enough space. And as you can see, I'm using a wok just because it's a lot of food in one place. But if you have like a large skillet, it should be fine. We just want to make sure there's enough space for everything to cook. Okay. Looks like I need to turn my heat up a little bit. It gets a little bit funny on this cooktop. However, I saw some more movement. So let's check in with our community before we move on to the next step, which, spoiler alert, we're going to the zoodle. Okay, let's see what's happening in the chat. All right, so looks like Valerie came up with some research on canola oil. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. And then Rosalie is sharing others. So good, you guys are hashing it out. I like this. Nicely done. Nicely done. Because at the end of the day, we truly all have to do our own research. And we have to eat and do what we feel is right. I still stand on the principle from my research and from experience with my own body that canola oil should not be in our kitchens. Again, I want you to do what brings you joy. So thank you all for having this discussion. Okay, next things next. This is one of my favorite ways to sneak in more vegetables because I've got 3 teenagers, and I will tell you, and I probably don't have to tell my friends who have teenagers or had teenagers as well, they are very verbal with their likes and their dislikes. They do not love a lot of the veggies that I maybe steam or I try to get creative with. But in this recipe, one, they barely know it's in there because you can't really taste the zucchini. But 2, it's kind of hidden under the sauce. And so we're going to take the shredded zucchini and we're just going to put it in our meat and veggie mixture. And we're going to make sure to mix this in. All right, you guys are unlocked. This is like the pop quiz night. All this stuff just keeps popping in my head. So, of course, I got to share it with you, which is the next quiz is, do we know a vitamin that zucchini is chock full of? And I'll give you a hint. It's the same vitamin we've been talking about all night with the bell pepper. But I want to see it in the comments. What vitamin is zucchini chock full of? Oh, both Evelyns. Oh, sorry, Evelyn and then a Beverly. Vitamin C. Vitamin C. Okay, that came in at the same time. You both win. Well done. Love it. Okay, I just looked down. I wanted to point out something. Olives. For my friends who share a home or a kitchen with other people, and you get a little annoyed with them asking, what's for dinner? Or, I'm hungry. When's dinner going to be done? I wanted to share this little tip with you. These are just some olives. Let's see if it's like I recycled the can already. But I love to have a little nibble for, again, the teenagers and the hubby when he comes home from work. I like to have them on the side so that they can kind of nibble, and I know it's going to be healthy snacks while I'm back there. My actual stove is back there cooking. And then 1, I don't have to hear that question. But 2, and more important, I know that they're getting those healthy nutrients in. And so this is just one tip I wanted to share, that the olives, you can just get them from a can or a jar, and they're nice, healthy fats that support our brains, again, which, another hip tip for those of us going through menopause, or what I like to call manopause. Yes, my male friends, you go through it too. Most of us, after the age of 40, our hormones start to shift. So anything we can do to protect our brains it's going to help our hormone regulation. So I do olives. I also like to have nuts. I've got like these almonds that I'll put on the side. Usually I'll have the baby carrots pulled out. Summertime, I like to do like frozen grapes and have those sitting on the side. But really anything. Oh, my kids actually really love sliced bell peppers, like any of the colors. And so I'll slice those up sometimes and just have them on the side. And so that just makes me happier inside, knowing that they're not ruining their dinner and they are getting that nutrition in their body as they're waiting for me to complete the dinner. Okay, so the turkey's going, and my skillet is a little slow. So if yours is faster and if your meat or your vegetarian protein is browned, then go ahead and pour your marinara sauce on. But I don't want you putting any sauce on until we know that your protein's completely cooked through. I'm going to put in a little more sea salt and a little more ground pepper. And then, of course, some garlic. Because like I said, I believe you can never have too much garlic. If you are not a garlic lover, no worries. Leave it out. It's all good. Oh my goodness. This kind of looks like the December holidays with all the red and the green happening in here. Pretty soon it'll mostly just be red. But right now it's kind of fun to observe the green of the zucchini, the red of the red onion and the red pepper. Just gets me in the holiday mood. Okay, so while we're waiting for the protein to cook, and then, like I said, in a moment, I'll put the marinara in. But if you're already there, of course, go for it. Put your marinara in. Let's zoodle. Do you see that? You see, I couldn't even say it before my body started reacting. I get very excited about zoodling. And let's see if there's a question first. Let's see. All right. Nice. Okay, so if you have a zoodler like me, this one, the brand is just Paderno. I think I got it on Amazon for like 18 bucks or something, so pretty affordable. I'm going to show you how to do that, but for my friends who do not have a zoodler, not to worry, your girl's got you. We are going to, I'll show you what you're going to do if you do not have a zoodler. Let me clean off my chef's knife so we have a clean working tool. So either way, I'm going to chop off the ends of my zucchini. If I do not have a zoodler, I am going to cut my zucchini in half, and then I'm going to lay down the flat side. So I want the flat, the solid feeling of flat zucchini so that it doesn't move, and we can clearly and cleanly just cut really thin strips. You're just going to go down as small as you have patience and just make long strips, because these are going to be like your noodles for the spaghetti. So that's what you're going to do if you do not have a zoodler. If you do have a zoodler, then of course, pull it out and let's zoodle together. Okay, looks like my meat is almost there, but especially if you're doing the turkey meat, we want it all the way cooked through. No such thing as sushi turkey in my world. I like my turkey all the way cooked through for health reasons. So, cutting the zucchini in half, I'm just gonna put it on the base and make sure it's all steady. And then I am just going for it. And then you see we've got these beautiful noodles. So now some people love to eat the noodles raw, and that's fine. It's going to be a little bit crispy that way. I prefer more of the quote unquote traditional texture of pasta. So I am actually going to saute mine in some more avocado oil just to heat it up a little bit to soften it up. I will say the longer you cook it, the softer it's going to be. So I probably wouldn't do more than 5 or 6 minutes because then it will start to get mushy. But as you'll see in a moment, I'm going to saute mine for probably 2 to 3 minutes. And then it's like that just right kind of texture. So let me do this next zoodle, our next half of the zucchini to create our zoodles. And then, feel free to play with your food. It's always more fun when we can play with our food ahead of time, right? Definitely a lot cleaner than when you're playing with it while you're eating. Let's see. Ooh, I think we're there with this spaghetti. Oh, this is great timing. So I'm going to move this over to my second warmer just to keep it warm. And then I'm going to use the first burner to saute my zoodles. And I'm pouring in my marinara sauce. One hip tip I want to suggest for you is to always read your labels. This brand just happens to be Bertolli. We happen to be big fans of Costco, so that's where I get a lot of my food. And they sell the Bertolli brand. But what I like about them is not only are they delicious, but the sugar content is very low. And so that's the thing I want you to look for as you're shopping for marinara sauce moving forward. On the label, we want probably less than 10 grams of sugar per serving. Even less would be better. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. And then I never like to waste any, so I just put in a little bit of water to get even more of our tomato sauce out. Okay, last quiz, I promise. Cooked tomatoes. They produce oh shoot, I just had it too in my head. And then I started multitasking. Okay, so how about this? I'll ask the actual question, and then by the time you guys answer, then the constituent will come to me. The question is the health that comes from a cooked tomato. Is it more beneficial for men or more beneficial for women? So cooked tomatoes will already say benefits for both, for those of us who can tolerate tomatoes. I know some of us have citrus allergies, and then of course you want to stay away from it. But for those of us who can tolerate tomatoes, is it better for men or better for women? Let's see if anybody guessed. Yes, lycopene. Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that. And Jessica and Misha both said men. Okay, yes, this is a very smart community. You got it. Yes. So it helps to nourish the prostate. So again, there's the vitamin C, so that's beneficial for both of us. It's just extra beneficial for our male friends. So if you have male friends in your world, cook them stewed tomatoes often. And if you are a man, cook yourself the stewed tomatoes often, because we want to keep the prostate as healthy as possible. Well done. Okay, so now I am just going to do a quick little saute of my zoodle, and we'll be almost there. So where is my oil? Here is my oil. All right, looks like that's already hit it. I'm gonna put just a taste of like a little dash of sea salt because it goes pretty far, especially with these noodles. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna let the oil heat up a little bit more. This one, if you happen to have coconut oil, could actually be really delicious just to give that a little extra flavor to your dish. Let's see if it's ready. Turn the heat back up. Okay. Yep, I hear a little sizzle. So here we go. And then a little time check. Looks like we are, oh good, right on. Which means it is almost time to eat dinner. Depending on where you are in the world, I imagine it's a good time to eat, right? And if it's already past your dinner time, then hopefully you'll have this recipe in your back pocket for another day. Specifically around the holidays, I will tell you, actually two things with this dish around the holidays. One, it makes a lot of food fast. So if you're hosting people specifically, or especially family, this is a heart healthy, brain supportive, body warming meal. And you can see it produces a lot of food, so it feeds a lot of mouths. And then two, it makes really delicious leftovers. Like I can already tell you, this is going to be my leftovers for lunch tomorrow because there's only two of us at the house tonight. So, okay, I'm going to give that a little more time. And before I start to plate, let's see if there's questions. And also I'm going to chop up some of my herbs to place on the top. So Marsha's asking, can it be frozen? Yes, awesome question. And that's actually what I will likely do so that I can just reheat it next weekend when we do have the kiddos. So absolutely, great question. I would say yes to the protein, the marinara sauce we just made, easily frozen. With the zucchini, I don't know that I would freeze this. Just because it loses its nutrients pretty quickly after it's cut. So I'd probably lean towards making the zucchinis fresh. Oh, but then gluten-free pasta, it absolutely freezes very easily and very well. So yeah. Okay, let's grab your herbs. And you know me, it's going to be a coarse chop. So you chop yours as small and as neat as you please. I'm just going to do a quick chop, 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 chop. This is going to make our dish more beautiful to look at. But again, also going to give us those great detox properties for our kidney and our liver. Okay. So now I'm going to turn both of them off because my zoodles are nicely medium textured. And then my marinara looks delicious. So let me give it a nice quick stir once again. Okay, so I am going to, and this is always my favorite part, as much as I love teaching, as much as I love chopping and cooking, eating is my absolute favorite part of all of this. So let's dig in. All right, I am going to grab my tongs. You can see I'm hungry. I just did a healthy portion of the gluten-free pasta. And I'm going to take some of my zoodles, and because we're on screen, I'm going to try to find some of the shorter noodles. No, even though we're friends, I think I'm still going to have to use a knife tonight because This could get really messy really quickly. Here we go. I'm going to get some of the smaller pieces. So in the ideal world, of course, you would do all zoodles and just leave out the pasta because it does have the extra carbs, which turns into sugar a little bit faster. However, everything in moderation. And especially if you're doing the gluten-free pasta, you're still going to get kind of like a neutral from your culinary nutritionist. So if you can do it that way, awesome. But if you're just going to do straight up zoodles, then you definitely get an A plus. So, you know, go with what works for your taste buds, but most important, for your health. Okay, next I'm going to scoop the beautiful protein marinara on top. Oh, these are still sizzling. Let me move this here. And then again, for beauty, but also for health, we're just going to sprinkle these gorgeous herbs. And voila, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Woo! Delicious! Okay, now let's make more space because I definitely want to eat. Here, this on top. Let's see if it'll stay. Yep, we're good there. And I am going to grab a steak knife to cut into these gorgeous zoodles. And the noodles too. This is so pretty. For my friends who cooked with me, and or if you were just watching the demo, have you ever tried to put zucchini either in the marinara or as a base? I'm just curious. Okay, here we go. That is so good. And see, I warned you. I knew it was going to get messy. But it's still delicious. It's very much worth it. So, wow. Okay. I see the chat box going. And let's see here with the time. Oh, good. We still have 3 minutes. I'm going to come over so I'm not like hunching over because I want to be able to answer you all. Let's see here. All right. Thank you so much for your patience with me and with my eyesight. I truly do appreciate it. This is amazing. All right. So, oh, good. Lots of questions. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate this. So, Misha's asking, can't you use a vegetable peeler too? I think that's a fabulous idea. Absolutely. I think it would be, of course, make it a lot thinner. So if you're going to saute it, I would do like a flash saute just so it doesn't get too mushy. But I love that idea. Thank you. Yes. And Denise says she was thinking of doing that too. Awesome. Linda says, what about using ground bison? Ooh, yes, if it's organic. The answer is yes. I bet that would be delicious. Let's see. Naomi asked, would you please repeat the brand name of your zoodler? Sure, happy to. So, let's see. Looks like it's Paderno, Paderno. And I got this one on Amazon. This is awesome. Yay. All right. Is your zoodler similar to the handheld where you twist the vegetable? You know, it is, Deborah. Thanks for asking. So my sister actually has the handheld, and I hadn't seen that before until we did a workshop together. And I'm like, that is so cool. So yeah, it comes out very similar end product. Like it still looks like a wrapped around zoodle. So yeah, if you have the handheld and you prefer that, that would be wonderful. That is fabulous. Let's see. How does rouse measure up? So I'm not sure what that was. Okay, so Linda says looks delicious. Deborah says looks good. Yay! And I still don't see it. So has anybody Or maybe that's the answer. Maybe that is my answer. Maybe nobody's tried zucchini in their spaghetti before. I will just say, oh, Allison says Rouse is a spaghetti sauce. Okay, got it. Thank you. I have not tried that brand clearly, so I don't know how it compares. Again, I used Bertolli's, but if Rouse is even less sugar, then I say yes, go with that one. Let's see. Renee says she has a Zuler that looks like mine, but it's a different brand. Got it at a garage sale for $1. That is amazing. I love saving money. I love a good garage sale. So congratulations, Renee. That's fabulous. Naomi, you are welcome. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Beverly says we are eating and it is delicious. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. And I hope that you guys learned something, even if it's as small as just adding zucchini into maybe surprising dishes. Because as you can tell, especially for my friends who did cook tonight, you really can't taste it. Like I love the texture, and so it adds a nice little crunch and a nice texture to it. But you're getting all the nutrients. You're getting more fiber in the meal. You're getting more vitamin C. So it's just all around better to add as many green things to your plate as possible. All right. Let's see. Misha says zucchini and butternut squash noodles are my favorite. Ooh, I've never tried the butternut squash noodles. I thought that's amazing. Yum. Jessica said her husband's excited to try it. Yay! I hope you guys love it. Oh, thank you, Renee. I so appreciate you being here. Antoinette says can't try the recipe. Looks delicious. Yay! Well, thank you all so much for being here this evening. Thank you for participating. Thank you for helping each other out. Thank you for the lively conversation. This truly has been a pleasure. I will be back in February, so stay tuned and we'll be able to announce the recipe very, very soon. So I hope you guys come back because I truly enjoy being here with you. Let's see. Oh, you guys are welcome. Have a beautiful evening.